guys, and welcome back to my channel. So today we are doing a Q&A, and yeah, let's just get into it. I'm really excited. So I asked you guys to ask me questions on Twitter, so here we fucking go. Also, before I get into the video, I want to look at today's fan art. This is today's fan art. Thank you so much for sending it to me. I love how minimal it is, but it still looks exactly like me, which I think is pretty damn crazy because I'm only able to draw stick figures, so the fact that someone can draw me in a minimalistic kind of way and it still looks exactly like me is amazing. Also, I know I've said this so many times, but I just want to let you guys know I'm doing this chronologically, so if you submit anything to me, I will do it. It's just like I have to put it in order of when I get it, and I'm so grateful for you guys. For you guys generally, and then for your drawings too. So yeah, just know it'll come. It just takes a little bit of time. So let's get on with the video. So first question, I'm not gonna pronounce any names because I'm afraid I'm gonna butcher them, so the screenshot will do. First question, what type of music do you like? I like a lot of different types of music. I guess the category would be mostly alternative, but I like a lot of older music. I like Queen, David Bowie, the Beach Boys, the earlier albums of Coldplay. I know that's not the same category, but whatever. Lana Del Rey, Lorde, who else? Let me check on Spotify. Raleigh Ritchie, Anya Marina, Zed's Dead, Toki Monster, Black Bear, just a lot of different people. The XX, I love the XX, saw them live. The Bloody Beetroots, One Republic, Aluna George. Sorry, I'm looking at the list. I can just link my Spotify under because I feel like that's going to give a better answer than I am right now. Okay, what was my first tattoo? My first tattoo was one on my leg. It's a scorpion, and it has a Greek saying that says pantarei, which is a concept from a philosopher called Heraclitus, and it pretty much means you never step in the same river twice, which is something I very strongly believe, so there you go. And I got it at 15. Favorite non-horror movie? I like a lot of very cheesy 90s rom-coms like Sleepless in Seattle. You've Got Mail, I've watched that movie so many times. Love Actually. Another one I like is Deep Blue Sea. How long have I been married? 2 years-ish, something like that. Because we got legally married before we got like officially wedding married. That's in February. How old am I? I'm 23. 24, bitch. You just turned 24. I have so many wigs, I don't even know. Favorite breakfast food? I like egg white omelets. Top 3 favorite bands? Previously mentioned, kind of. I was born in Germany. I do play video games, but I'm not that big of a gamer type chick, whatever that means. And yeah, thank you for all those questions. So here we have, what's your favorite book? Do you write your own writing pieces? If so, which one is your favorite? I have to say, I think my favorite book would be Laughter in the Dark by Nabokov, or After Dark by Murakami, or Ham on Rye by Bukowski. I love all of those. I do my own writing. I have this one short story. It's short. It's really short. It's like 15 pages that I wrote in a workshop in college, and I really like that story because it's about a really hard time in my life, and I had to like share it with the class, and it's really interesting to see how people critique your story when they don't know it's about you. My Lana Del Rey tattoos. So I have one here. Come take a walk on the wild side. It says we were born to die. Then I have this one on my thigh. Okay, so those are my Lana tattoos, and of course, Raised from the Dead from her song Radio. I don't know if someone already asked you this, but who or what got you into makeup? I really love all the makeup looks in your videos. Thank you so much. I don't know. To be entirely honest, about a year and a half ago, I literally did not wear makeup except for eye makeup, and I was pretty bad at it. Blending was not happening. Like, if you think I'm not blending now, back then you would have had a bad time. But I think I got into it because of YouTube, and I've always been very intimidated by the whole makeup world because I just feel like, you know, I'm not good at it or whatever, and I never want to give the impression that I think I'm really good at it or that I'm some kind of pro, because I'm not. I just try my best, and I'm just a girl. There's nothing more to it. But yeah, I've always liked alternative kind of makeup, and I know that Kat Von D is pretty commercial now, but I've always liked her look, and I think she really got me into makeup with like her packaging and everything. There was something that was really inspiring to me about all that. What's your opinion about sex workers? To be honest, I don't really have much of an opinion. Be safe, do you. That's it. How did you and your husband meet? I love your videos, dear. Thank you so much. We met on Tinder. Good times, Tinder. Ugh. What's your favorite way to waste time that doesn't involve the internet? Documentaries. I like watching documentaries about cults, and especially satanic cults or just dangerous, creepy cults. Scientology, obviously, that's a creepy cult. Other than that, I'd say probably reading, but the reality is that I read so much for school that I tend to get turned off from reading aside from that, especially because my eyes fucking burn a lot, so documentaries. Biggest struggles as a writer, favorite genre. My biggest struggle as a writer changes over time, obviously. I do get a lot of writer's block, and aside from that, I tend to write about things that have actually happened to me, which can be very draining because, you know, you're reliving an experience, and obviously when I write about experiences, I tend to write about darker moments, more traumatic moments, so you're really putting yourself back into the mentality you were in moment X. And that's very hard and it's draining, so you can't really do all that much at a time, I feel like. Aside from that, another struggle I have is that I have difficulties writing partially about things. So for example, if I want to write a story that has happened to me, a lot of the times people will be like, you can embellish, you can change, whatever, and it's really hard for me because I feel like I'm lying, even if I'm technically not saying, hey, this is exactly what happened, but I have a difficulty coming up with stuff that didn't happen when I'm basing it on something real. Does that make sense? And my favorite genre is, I don't know what you'd call it, the realistic genre, like Bukowski, Fante, Nabokov. Nabokov is realistic in some ways, some stories not so realistic, but pretty much the genre that talks about everyday life and things that can actually happen. Short stories I like a lot too. But yeah, generally genres that are more about the everyday life stories. Okay, what do you think about weed? Should it be legal? Do you use it, or have you? I don't really think all that much about weed. I have a weed, like a medical license or whatever the fuck you call it, because I have pretty bad back pain and I have issues sleeping. So I do have like a license to get it, but I genuinely do not remember the last time I've smoked. It was over 6 months ago at least. I really don't enjoy it, so I only really smoke if I have to, like if I really can't sleep, or if my back really hurts, or if I have really, really, really bad period cramps, but otherwise not my cup of tea. I do think it should be legal, but I want to say almost legal within reason. Like I do think that there should be a kind of maximum amount that everyone should be able to get, and I do think that there should be a lot of monitoring on who it is that's getting it. But other than that, I don't really care. I mean, as long as people don't drive under the influence or make poor decisions, you know, do your thing. Especially since it helps with a lot of different things, like with eating disorders, with nausea, with cancer, with chronic pain, you know, it's just like, it's very helpful, and I don't think it's fair to deprive people who actually medically need it. Where are you from? Why do you think marriage is a good thing? Do you think becoming a parent is a good thing? Not asking if kids are cute and cool, asking if it is a good idea to have kids. Okay, so I am from Italy. Do I think marriage is a good thing? That's a bit of a complicated one. I don't think marriage is either good or bad. I think that, like most other things in life, it is a personal choice. And depending on who you are, you're going to believe in marriage or not believe in marriage. Until I was like 18, I did not believe I was ever going to get married, for the simple reason that my mom did get married and things went very badly. And it kind of destroyed our entire family. Like, you guys have no idea the reach that... Anyways. So I think it really depends on the person you are and the person you're with, because some people just don't believe in it and don't want to do it, stay together their whole lives, but the piece of paper doesn't mean shit. To me, it means a lot. To Jacob, it also means a lot. So for us, it was right and it was a good thing. But this being said, you have to calculate what it is you want from life, what it is you want out of your future, and it can be good based on that. So I don't think it's inherently good or bad. Do you think becoming a parent is a good thing? It's kind of the same thing as marriage. Like, I think that becoming a parent is obviously a very big responsibility, and I know that a lot of people are pressured into it. Like, I know my family keeps pressuring me, and I just keep telling them it's not happening. And the thing about kids is that I feel like a lot of people feel pressured to check off the list, you know, like finish high school, go to college, get married, have kids, be in your whatever career, you know. It's like you're ticking boxes, and it's like, you don't have to tick the box if you don't want to. And the reality is, if you don't want to be a parent, you shouldn't, because you're probably going to be a shitty parent if you don't want to be one. I mean, people can always change, but at the same time, it's like, if you're not motivated to raise a child for at least 18 years, don't do it. How do you think your growing up internationally affected your political views? I'm a TCK as well, and I find it intriguing. I think that in a lot of ways it has made me more open-minded, and I know some people are going to be like, bitch, you're not open-minded, but living amongst multiple cultures, dealing with different languages, dealing with different groups of people, living in different areas that are more concentrated in person X, I think makes you very, very aware of your surroundings. Aside from that, I think that, I'm not talking about political views. Okay, let's get back to political views. Politically speaking, I do think that it has made me more open to try and understand, because I realize that culturally and societally things work differently based on where you are. So a lot of the times when I hear about political issues happening in other places, I try to stop myself for a second and be like, okay, what are the norms? And then we can talk about it. I try not to immediately put my own ideology on top of it. I try to see the other side. But honestly, apart from that, I didn't have too much of a political life before I moved to the States, mainly because I never lived in the country where I could fucking vote. So there was very little of motivating to me to be like, hey, let's inform myself on France's politics. Move 2 years later. Let's inform ourselves on China's politics. Move 3 years later. You know, it's just, it feels kind of pointless. And I know that sounds really bad, but the reality is, if you can't vote, there's very little pushing you, especially because anyways, for most of my life when I was living in all these places, not only could I not vote, I wasn't even 18. So before 18, I think it's very rare for people to be actively up to date on their political views. So honestly, I think if anything, it's just made me more open to try and understand. I know that's a shitty answer. Have you any fashion inspirations? Yes, I like to think that I mix David Bowie and Joan Jett. I really see them as fashion inspirations, but yeah, you probably don't see it. It's probably just a thing in my head, but I really like their fashion. And obviously Karl Lagerfeld, but duh. What's your dream job? I would like to be a professor at college level, and be able to write as my research. Where did your name come from? So I'm really into fashion, and you know, there's fashion, there's called RTW, ready to wear. I'm ready to glare. Get it? Haha. Yeah, I'm hilarious. Okay, last one. Do you regret any of your tattoos? Which one has the most meaning to you? I don't regret any of my tattoos. People are always surprised when I say that. I don't know why, but I don't. In terms of having one that means the most to me, I think that's really hard because I make a point of only getting tattoos that mean a lot to me. I think one that always kind of hits me really hard when I really think about it is my Mia Wallace tattoo, and it's parallel to my Lana Del Rey. That's my Mia Wallace one. It's parallel to my Lana Del Rey one. And when I think about everything behind that tattoo, I always get a little emotional. But yeah, I don't really prioritize one over the other. All of them are just very important moments to me, spread out through time, if that makes sense. Anyways, I'm gonna stop here. Thank you guys for sending me questions. Let me know what you think about Q&As, if you want more, if you want one with Jacob or whatever, and thank you guys for watching.